You have an idea, a calling, a spark that nudges you in quiet moments. Maybe it's a book you want to write, a business you've dreamed of building, a creative pursuit that lives rent-free in your head. But day after day it goes untouched. You keep pushing it off. You tell yourself you need more time, more clarity, more courage. I'll start tomorrow, you whisper. And tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. Steven Pressfield has a name for this invisible force that stops us from doing the one thing we most long to do: resistance. It's not procrastination, not laziness, not fear, at least not as we normally understand it. Resistance is deeper, sneakier, more insidious. It's a shapeshifter that uses your own voice against you. And in the war of art, Pressfield doesn't just diagnose it, he wages war on it. Today we're going to dissect resistance, see how it operates, unmask the lies it whispers, and most importantly, learn how to defeat it. Not with bursts of motivation, but with a quiet, relentless mindset rooted in discipline and identity. Because the war isn't out there, it's within. What is resistance? Resistance is not external. It's not your boss, your schedule, your responsibilities. It's internal. It lives inside your mind and thrives on delay, distraction, and self-doubt. It's the voice that whispers, "You're not ready," right when you finally feel bold enough to start. Every time you attempt to rise to write that screenplay, apply for that grant, or train for that marathon, resistance shows up. But here's the cruel trick. It doesn't care about your comfort zone. You can binge watch Netflix, scroll through social media, reorganize your sock drawer, and it will leave you alone. Resistance only appears when you're on the edge of change. When you're about to become someone new. That's the great paradox. Resistance isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's a sign you're on the right one. If you feel it, that means the work matters. Resistance wears many masks. One of the reasons resistance is so dangerous is because it's a master of disguise. It rarely announces itself directly. Instead, it dresses up as helpful habits, noble responsibilities, or even personal virtues. It looks like perfectionism. I just need one more round of editing. Then it'll be good enough. It looks like procrastination. I'll start after I finish this other project. Or maybe after the holidays. It disguises itself as productivity. Before I launch, I need to color code every folder, clean my entire workspace, and read 10 more books on the subject. Sometimes it even hides behind selflessness. I can't pursue my dream right now. Other people need me. This is resistance's genius. It uses your best qualities against you. Your sense of responsibility, your desire for excellence, your kindness. It knows that if it can just delay you long enough, it wins. Pressfield urges us to remember, resistance is a liar. And like all liars, it loses power the moment you expose it. That's the first real battle in this war, awareness. Name it, call it out, refuse to be deceived. Because once you know what you're dealing with, you've already taken back some control. The amateur versus the professional. This is the heart of the war of art, the mindset shift that changes everything. Pressfield draws a line in the sand between two identities, the amateur and the professional. The amateur is romantic, idealistic. They wait for inspiration, for a sign, for the stars to align. They say things like, someday, if I had time, or when I'm ready. They write when they feel like it, create when the mood strikes. Their work is driven by passion, but sabotaged by inconsistency. The professional, on the other hand, doesn't wait. They show up every day, no matter the mood, no matter the resistance. They don't take the work personally. They do it because it's their job. Professionals don't wait for inspiration. They create conditions for it. Don't ask if they feel like it. They act like someone who does it anyway. Don't measure success by praise or productivity, but by whether they showed up today. This mindset isn't cold or robotic. It's sacred. It's a vow. When you go pro, you stop treating your dream like a side hustle or a hobby. You treat it like the most important thing you'll ever do. Because it is. Consider Stephen King, who writes 2,000 words a day, even on holidays. Maya Angelou, who rented empty hotel rooms just to eliminate distraction. These aren't magical people with supernatural focus. They just made the decision, this is who I am. This is what I do. Fear is the compass. Resistance doesn't just slow you down. It points the way. As strange as it sounds, your fear is actually a signpost. Think about it. If you're terrified to speak in public, to launch that podcast, to send your manuscript to a publisher, that's probably exactly what you should be doing. Why? Because resistance only shows up when something real is on the line. Pressfield says that the projects we most avoid are usually the ones our soul is begging us to do. Fear then becomes a compass. It doesn't say, turn back. It says, go here. That doesn't mean you'll feel confident. It means you're growing. Real work, the kind that changes you and the world, always carries fear. That's how you know it matters. So next time you feel resistance, don't ask how to make it go away. Ask, what is this fear trying to keep me from doing? Then walk straight into it. Do the work anyway. This is the part where magic meets muscle. Pressfield's advice here is deceptively simple. Do the work. Not perfectly, not effortlessly. Just consistently sit down. Open the laptop, pick up the brush, hit record. Type the first awkward sentence. Stay in the chair. 1 hour, 2, however long it takes. Even if the result is garbage, especially if it is. Because real pros know quantity leads to quality. You can't improve what you don't start. You can't sculpt a masterpiece without first shaping the clay. That's why Pressfield says, put your ass where your heart wants to be. Create the time, the space, the ritual. Build a sacred routine around your work, even if it feels small. Over time, something subtle shifts. The muse, that elusive creative spirit, stops being so mysterious. She shows up more often. Why? Because you've proven you're serious. You don't wait for her anymore. Now she's waiting on you. Resistance doesn't die, but you get stronger. Here's the toughest truth. Resistance never goes away. In fact, the more you grow, the more it grows with you. New level, new devil. You finish your first book, resistance shows up with your second. You build a successful business, resistance tempts you to coast. You finally step into your purpose. Resistance now whispers, are you sure you can keep this up? But you change. You start to see it earlier. You stop mistaking it for truth. You recognize its patterns. You become faster at responding. You waste less time negotiating with it. The amateur thinks they'll one day conquer resistance. The professional knows. You don't conquer it. You outlast it. This is why daily action matters. Not just for the work you produce, but for the person you become. Every time you show up, you cast a vote for your future self. Over time, you become someone who creates, no matter what. Pressfield reminds us, resistance will do anything to keep you from that path. It will flatter, manipulate, distract, deceive. It will sound like reason, like logic, like love, but it's all a trap. Resistance wants you small, safe, silent. So what's the antidote? Start small, quietly, daily, show up. Even when it feels pointless. Even when no one's watching. Even when it hurts. You don't win this war in one grand act of courage. You win it in the quiet act of returning to the work, again and again. Because the muse doesn't come to those who wait. She comes to those who are already working. If this video helped you spot resistance in your own life, give it a like and hit subscribe. In our next episode, we'll dive into The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and explore the magic of listening to your heart, even when the world tells you not to. Until then, stay bold, stay creative, and most of all, stay in the fight.